Jr. and Thomas Schechter. Jack?
Fellas, one thing I want you to watch when we come down on the pit road is take a look at practice last night. The pit road area is so bumpy. You see Ralphie Matos, his car bumping. There is no way you can go. Ryan Briscoe, after a pit stop last night, you can see the way it starts to launch the car. That's something that all these drivers are going to have to really be aware of, especially under green flag conditions. We should be seeing pits, as John said, anytime.
Been green all the way so far as Danica Patrick continues to move forward. She is coming up on Scott Dixon for 4th position.
And what makes that so challenging that Jack talked about is those bumps coming out of pit road. You've come in, you've put cold tires on, you're under green conditions. You can't give up any distance as you're coming out of that pit road. Remember those goalposts? You cover that track in less than a second.
Now here's Justin Wilson. Remember, he did lose a lap here, and so he has had enough of the tires apparently, and he's going to get fresh Firehawks and a tank full of ethanol.
Well, he was losing a lot of speed. We saw his lap speed dropping and dropping. And Robbie, this is just what you talked about. If it drops to the point where you've got to get a change, they can change tire pressures, they can change front wing, they can definitely change a car quickly during a pit stop because he was in trouble.
Yeah, and it comes from the pit boss, the guy who's running that treasure. Look at Danica.
You just got it. Momentum for sure. Man,
welcome back. Welcome back.
She is now in 4th position and is able to pass on the high side and the low side and everywhere on the racetrack.
Man. But anyhow, when you have a guy that's really getting slow out on the racetrack, you got the pit boss that's got to say, hey, we'll get to you, just keep giving me everything you can, and he's just kind of weighing out the speeds of the whole field and says, okay. We just heard from probably either the spotter or whoever from the stand of Danica's car. Fantastic job, and that's for sure. All the way up to P4. And there we're
you're better than them.
Yellow.
Yellow.
And that is why you don't ever want to pit until the end of your window.
As Justin Wilson just did.
So always the rule of thumb, wait till the last moment.
Yep.
Because pitting under yellow is a enormous advantage, and they'll all get to do it except for those who got on pit road early.
Yellow comes out on lap number 46 of 228, so our first opportunity to take a breather with Ryan Briscoe in first, Will Power in second, and Danica Patrick was closing in on 3rd place Dario Franchitti when the caution came out.
When we do pit, we may have a crossover with the car in front of us, so be very careful. I will keep you informed.
That's Ziggy Marcus.
And that was Ziggy that came on earlier, and when we said he was saying fantastic job, that was coming from Ziggy from the pit stand.
Pits are going to be opening up here.
The first pit stop that you do is always the fastest.
Pits are open. Pit this lap. Pit this lap.
Because the fuel flow is higher. There's more fuel in the tank. So this is when you're a tire changer, this is the one that pays the money because it's harder to beat the fuel on the first stop than it is later in the race.
A little bit of pressure, and don't think when these drivers hit the pit lane like they are right now, this is when they relax.
But why are they not right on the back of Briscoe?
Because they're sleeping. Come on. That's why.
Down to Robbie.
Well, the number 7 car of Danica Patrick in 4th. She started in 8th place, and she is really not talking about anything while she's out there on the track. Ziggy mentioned, watch out for the crossover. Alex Tagliani is just in front of her. He is in the 15th position, so Alex is going to be pulling in. Lindy, it's going to be a close call here.
See Ryan Briscoe on the top there. He is adding front wing. 2 of his wins have been on 1.5-mile ovals. He's out. Will Power below him, who pulls out as we speak for about 25 laps, has been complaining of massive understeer. Briscoe and Will both out of the pits, Bob.
Wow, look at Ryan Briscoe lost 4 spots.
Yeah.
What?
Danica gained 1. She had a less than 8-second pit stop.
But definitely the common denominator there is we saw all the front tire changers going for that adjustment of the front wing. Ziggy Harkus giving a rah-rah on Danica's crew, but they all are putting more front wing in because the front is washing up the racetrack. It's pushing up the racetrack.
And I should say Alex Lloyd just left the pits now, had a big problem.
Tough break for Alex Lloyd. Stay with us here on Versus. Texas Motor Speedway for the Firestone 550 for the IZOD IndyCar Series. Under our first caution, the leader of the race is Dario Franchitti now. Ryan Briscoe had led all laps prior to the green flag, but had problems in the pit area. Apparently pulled into his pit box crooked, and the crew had a little bit of difficulty, so he is now back to the 5th position.
But let's remember, we got the 24 degrees of banking here, and even if these drivers, coming back to all those points you showed us on this car, this infinite amount of changes and subtleties you can have on these race car, is if you don't have a perfect race car, you can still be in that lead pack. You can still tune it and drive hard and get back up there.
As Jan pointed out, Alex Lloyd had major problems on pit lane, and he has dropped to 21st position, the last car on the lead lap.
Actually came to a stop before. Well, they had that was very quick work on getting the quick lift and getting him close enough, but he's still not close enough at this point to where you can get the fuel hose connected. People are already leaving at this stage.
Wow.
And it's
thank goodness it's under yellow.
And it's a tough position for a driver. I mean, he was just trying to get into his box as quick as he could. He locked up that right front and hit that stack of tires. And you know, you got to be aggressive, but look, if you're too aggressive, trying to get that extra second, and that happens, it can put you all the way to the back.
Tough break.
Now, Danica Patrick was definitely moving on up. First, she took it to E.J. Viso on the low side of the racetrack. Then, low side of the racetrack with Marco Andretti. Actually, she fought back and forth, high and low. Finally took him on the low side. Then, see you later, former winner Dan Weldon goes to the bottom here. Then, well, I can pass high and I can pass low. Go to the outside of Scott Dixon. Still kept that momentum, worked her way up. We saw her get by Lloyd and get right to the back of Dario Franchitti before those stops.
And for a race driver, when your race car is doing that, it is a lot of fun, guys.
The IZOD IndyCar Series continues Sunday, June 20th with the Iowa Corn Indy 250 on Versus. Dario Franchitti looking to go undefeated at Iowa. He hasn't won every race there, but he's won every race that he's competed in there. Survival of the fastest, the Iowa Corn 250, Sunday, June 20th, 1:30 Eastern, right here on Versus. The green flag comes out, and we are back to racing once again. And let's see what Danica can do here. She's in 3rd spot there on the racetrack. She's looking to go around Will Power.
And right to the top side she goes. And anytime you do that after you've been in for a pit stop, that just shows you the confidence that she's having in that race car.
Isn't making any headway up there. In fact, almost loses his spot to Scott Dixon and still is under fire.
Now watch Ryan Briscoe. Ryan Briscoe certainly looked like he had the fastest car before that pit stop. And now he has to work his way through traffic, something he hasn't had to do before.
And this is great to see, this jockeying back and forth. But remember, look at that, man. Is when this is really important is the last, 50 laps of this race after the last stop. So right now, there still is posturing and figuring out where your strengths and weaknesses are, what you need to tune on your car for your next pit stop.
Look how
there is no question that Ryan Briscoe dodged a bullet on pit road when he pulled in wrong. In fact, during that caution after he pulled back out, he called his boss on the radio and said to Roger Penske, "Thanks so much for keeping me and alerting me." Danica Patrick continues to work the high side, guys. I got to tell you, I'm starting to look at the tires here. I think the tires are going to go one stint and only one stint. We may see guys pitting earlier than the pit window will require. Let's check in with Robbie Floyd.
I'm down in the Danica Patrick pit, and of course you've heard Ziggy over the radio just a minute ago, but Mark Treach is in her ear trying to pump her up, saying she's got a good car, letting her know where the other cars are around her. But boy, the crew here in the number 7 camp, the GoDaddy car, they have a smile on their faces. They know they have a fast car and a happy Danica, and that's a good thing here in Texas.
Oh, looks like we have a car in the wall. Sato is in the wall. Takuma Sato, driving the Lotus-powered car, the Lotus-sponsored car, I should say, hits the outside wall and then comes across the track, scrapes the inside wall, and Brian Howard is saying, "Slow down, we've got a problem."
Well, this is the first time that Takuma has really seen a high bank super speedway oval, and I asked him today right before the drivers meeting, I'm like, what do you think of this place? Crazy. Unfortunately, he's not going to leave here thinking it